thought about those figures who just seem to be everywhere, shaking industries, inspiring really strong opinion?
Yeah, definitely. People who really dominate the conversation.
Exactly. And today, we're doing a deep dive on one of the biggest names like that, Elon Musk.
Right.
Our mission here is simple. Cut through the noise. We're taking the source material you gave us, a pretty comprehensive look, and pulling out the key insights.
Kind of a shortcut for you, the listener.
Yeah, a shortcut to getting properly informed about probably one of the most influential and, let's face it, controversial figures of our time.
And understanding Musk, it's more than just knowing the company names, isn't it?
For sure.
It's about grasping his impact. Technology, the economy, society even. It's pretty wide-ranging.
Most people know Tesla, SpaceX.
Of course. But we want to connect the dots, you know. His early life, that entrepreneurial spark he clearly had, and these huge, audacious visions he chases.
You really get a sense of why he's made such a mark.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Start at the beginning. Elon Musk.
Born June 28, 1971, Pretoria, South Africa.
Right, in Transvaal.
His parents, his dad, Elon Musk, South African,
Yeah.
an electromechanical engineer, pilot, sailor. Quite a mix.
And his mother, May Musk, Canadian, a dietitian and model. You still see her around quite a bit.
Yeah, she's very visible. And he has siblings too, right?
Two, yeah. Kimball, who's also an entrepreneur in the food space, restaurants, and Tosca, who's a filmmaker.
And even really young, that tech interest was there.
Oh, absolutely. At 10, fascinated by computers. Taught himself programming on a Commodore VIC-20.
Which is amazing in itself, but then at 12...
Yeah, this is the kicker. He creates and sells a video game, Blaster, for $500.
At 12, that really tells you something, doesn't it? Sets the stage.
It absolutely does. That early drive is key. And if you link that to his next big move, leaving South Africa.
Right, why did he leave?
Well, it was 1988. He wanted to avoid mandatory military service, particularly under the apartheid system then, and, frankly, pursue bigger opportunities in North America.
Makes sense. So Canada first. Canada first. Queen's University in Ontario, starting in '89. Then he transferred.
To the U.S.
Yep, University of Pennsylvania in '95. Got dual bachelor's degrees there. A BSc in physics.
Oh, okay.
And another BSc in economics from Wharton. So a pretty serious academic foundation.
Physics and economics. Interesting combo.
It is. But here's maybe the most telling detail about his drive. He actually enrolled at Stanford for a PhD.
Oh, wow. In what?
Applied physics.
Yeah.
But he lasted, wait for it, 2 days.
2 days. Seriously.
Seriously, just dropped out to jump into the internet. Boom, startups were exploding.
That says it all, really. Action over academia.
Completely. His bias was clear from the start. Build things now.
So jumping into that internet boom, what were those first big ventures? What do they show us about his early business sense?
Okay, first up was Zip2 Corporation.
Zip2, right.
Co-founded it with his brother, Kimball. This is around 1996 to 99.
And what did Zip2 do?
Basically, online city guides for newspapers, software for that. They got big names interested, like the New York Times, Chicago Tribune.
So it worked out.
Oh, yeah, it worked out well. Compaq ended up buying Zip2 in '99 for $307 million.
Wow. And Musk's take?
He got $22 million personally from that sale.
$22 million, that's a significant starting capital.
Absolutely crucial. And it wasn't just the money. It proved he could, identify a need in this new internet thing, build a solution, and sell it big. It set him up.
So with $22 million in the bank, what's next? Did he take a break?
No. Not really his style. Straight into the next thing. X.com. Founded in 1999.
X.com.
This was even more ambitious. Online payments, financial services. Think banking, but online, which was very new then.
The head of the curve again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Then, a year later, X.com merged with a company called Confinity.
And Confinity have?
They had their own money transfer service called PayPal.
Ah, PayPal. Okay, so that's where that came from.
Exactly. Now, there were some internal disagreements, apparently. Musk ended up being replaced as CEO.
Ousted?
Sort of, yeah, but he was still the largest shareholder, which is key. And then in 2002, eBay came calling. Bought PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock.
$1.5 billion.
Yep, and Musk's share this time, around $180 million.
Okay, so first Zip2, then PayPal. He's building this pattern.
Yeah.
Create, scale, exit, get serious capital.
Precisely. And that $180 million, that's the war chest that really funded the things people thought were, well, basically science fiction.
Which brings us to the companies that really made him a household name, starting with space. That seems like such a huge leap.
It does, doesn't it? But yeah, May 2002, he found SpaceX, Space Exploration Technologies Corp.
And the vision wasn't just like building rockets. It was better.
Way bigger, almost unbelievable at the time. Make space travel affordable, and the end goal, get humans living on Mars.
Okay, so how did that unfold? What were the big steps?
Well, the milestones are pretty staggering. 2008, they get the Falcon 1 into orbit. That was the first privately developed liquid-fueled rocket to do that. A huge deal.
Okay, first private rocket to orbit.
Then 2012, their Dragon spacecraft delivers cargo to the International Space Station. Again, a first for a private company.
Right, docking with the ISS.
But maybe the real game changer was 2015. They started landing their rockets. Reusability.
The landings, yeah. I remember seeing those videos. It looked impossible.
Exactly. It completely upended the economics of space launch. Decades of throwing rockets away, and suddenly they're landing them on drone ships.
Incredible. And they didn't stop there.
Not at all. By 2020, SpaceX is launching NASA astronauts, the Commercial Crew Program.
So launching humans.
Launching humans.
Yeah.
And then 2021 through now, really, it's been all about Starship, that massive, fully reusable ship designed for Mars and beyond.
Starship, yeah, we see those test flights.
Plus, there's Starlink, the satellite internet constellation. Tens of thousands of satellites up there by 2025, providing global internet.
The scale is just hard to comprehend sometimes. But okay, rockets and satellites. He wasn't just doing that. Let's talk Tesla. A lot of people think he started it.
That's a really common misconception. Tesla, Inc. was actually founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning in 2003.
Okay, so where does Musk fit in?
He came in early 2004, invested $6.5 million, became chairman. Then in 2008, he took over as CEO and product architect.
Ah, so early investor, then CEO.
Right. And under his leadership, well, you see the results. Model S, Model 3, XY, the Cybertruck.
Game-changing cars.
Absolutely. Plus the huge gigafactories, US, Europe, China. They really forced the entire auto industry to pivot to electric.
No question about that.
And battery storage, too. By 2021, it was the most valuable car company in the world by market cap. Plus, they're pushing hard on autopilot and full self-driving tech.
It shows that approach again, doesn't it? Rethinking an entire industry from the ground up.
That first principles thinking he talks about.
Yeah.
Break it down, build it back better, and then scale it massively.
And it seems he wanted to tie the energy side together more directly. Solar City?
Exactly. Solar City comes into play here. He co-founded that in 2006 with his cousins, Lyndon and Peter Reeve.
Okay, so separate at first.
Separate first, focused on solar panel installation. But then, in 2016, it merged with Tesla. Became Tesla Energy.
Ah, bringing it all under one roof.
Yeah, producing solar panels, the Powerwall home batteries. It creates this whole ecosystem. Generate power, store power, use power in your car, all Tesla.
Very integrated vision. Okay, so we've got space, electric cars, solar energy. But he kept going. The Boring Company, Neuralink, what's the idea there?
Yeah, this is where it gets even more diverse, but you can still see the threads.
Yeah.
The Boring Company, founded 2016, the idea, solve city traffic.
By digging tunnels.
By digging tunnels, yeah. Cheaper, faster tunnels.
Yeah.
Developing the loop system, basically. Tesla's moving at high speed underground.
Okay, and Neuralink, that sounds straight out of science fiction.
It kind of does. Also founded 2016, neurotechnology.
Yeah.
Brain-computer interfaces, BCIs.
Brain chips.
Essentially, yeah. The goals are huge. One, treat neurological disorders, paralysis, blindness, things like that. Two, eventually merge the human brain with AI.
Whoa, merge with AI. That's a big statement.
It's massive. And it's not just talk. In 2024, they actually implanted their first BCI chip into a human patient.
Really? Human trials already.
Yep. Moving fast, as usual.
Okay, and his involvement with AI doesn't stop there. OpenAI. And then Twitter.
Right. He was actually a co-founder of OpenAI back in 2015.
I didn't realize he co-founded it.
Yeah, the original mission was about ensuring AI develops safely, benefits humanity. But he left the board in 2018.
Why was that?
Cited a potential conflict of interest, mainly with Tesla's own AI development for self-driving.
Makes sense. Okay, which leads us to the huge one, Twitter. Or X.
More X for it, yeah. October 2022. Buys Twitter for $44 billion. A massive, massive deal.
And his stated reason was free speech.
That was the main public rationale, concerns over content moderation and free speech. What followed was, well, pretty dramatic.
Understatement. Mass layoff.
Huge layoffs.
Yeah.
Then the rebranding to X in 2023, and this push to make it an everything app.
What does that even mean, an everything app?
The vision seems to be payments, finance, long-form content, video, AI features, all integrated into one platform. Like WeChat in China, but global.
A huge ambition for a social media platform.
Definitely trying to transform it completely.
It's just an incredible portfolio of ventures.
Right.
Let's shift a bit to the man himself. What does his personal life tell us?
Well, looking at the basics, He holds 3 citizenships: South African by birth, Canadian, and American.
Right. And his family life.
He was married to author Justine Musk from 2000 to 2008. They had 6 children together, twins and triplets.
6 kids. Wow.
Though tragically, their first son, Nevada, died very young from SIDS.
Oh, that's terrible.
Then he married actress Tallulah Riley, twice actually, 2010 to 2012, then again 2013 to 2016.
Married the same person twice. Interesting.
And more recently, his relationship with the musician Grimes. Clara Boucher, they have 3 children.
Including one with a very unique name.
Right, XDA12,
Mm-hmm.
and Exciter Dark Siderel, and a third, Technomechanicus. So as of 2025, the sources say he has at least 11 children.
11. Wow. And his work ethic is legendary, right?
Absolutely. Routinely reported to work 80, sometimes 100 hours per week. Just relentless.
And he's been somewhat open about personal struggles.
He has. He disclosed having Asperger's during his Saturday Night Live hosting gig in 2021. Talked a bit about how his brain works differently.
Okay, so given all this, the companies, the personal life, the public recognition must be immense.
Oh, definitely. Times Person of the Year in 2021. Consistently on Forbes' lists of most powerful people, and of course frequently at or near the very top of the world's richest people lists.
Net worth often over $200 billion, depending on Tesla's stock price, obviously.
It fluctuates wildly with the market. But look, it's also impossible to talk about him without acknowledging the controversies, and we're just reporting what the sources highlight here.
Understood, impartially.
Exactly. Things like his tweets, moving stock markets, sometimes erratically. Major disputes with regulators like the SEC.
Yeah, those have made headlines.
There have been significant questions raised about labor practices, safety conditions at Tesla factories, accusations of anti-union efforts.
Right.
And since the Twitter acquisition, ongoing debates about misinformation, his own political statements on the platform X.
So it's a complex picture, huge achievements, but also significant criticisms.
Absolutely. They're both part of the public perception, part of his overall impact. You can't really separate them.
Okay, so bringing us right up to date. Recent developments, say 2023 to 2025. What's the latest?
Well, Starship keeps pushing forward. Multiple high-altitude test flights completed. That Mars goal, while still distant, feels like it's making tangible progress.
Still aiming for Mars.
Still the goal. Tesla's talking about launching its robotaxi service soon, really pushing the AI-driven transport idea.
Robotaxis, right.
Neuralink's human trials are actively underway, which could be huge for people with neurological conditions. We're starting to see real potential there.
The brain interface tech.
Exactly. And X, or Twitter, continues that transformation, trying to become this financial and AI super app under the X Corp banner.
So still actively pushing on all fronts: AI, aerospace, energy, transport, social media.
The influence is undeniable across all those fields. He's still very much shaping the direction of those industries.
So when we step back and look at the legacy, the overall vision, how do you sum it up?
I mean, he's undeniably one of the most influential figures of this century.
Yeah.
And probably one of the most controversial, too.
Fair to say.
The overarching vision seems clear, if incredibly ambitious. Colonize Mars. Shift Earth to sustainable energy. Integrate humans with AI. Revolutionize transportation.
Tackling huge existential level problems.
That's how he frames it. And that positioning as this futuristic pioneer, tackling humanity's biggest challenges, it draws intense admiration from many.
And intense criticism from others.
Exactly. It's a polarized response. But the scale of the ambition is undeniable.
Well, this deep dive into the source material really paints a picture of just immense ambition combined with relentless execution. The impact across so many different fields is just staggering. Hopefully this gives you, the listener, a clearer narrative of his complex story.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Given these stated goals, not just inventing things, but fundamentally reshaping civilization, on Earth, in space, even inside our heads, with AI integration, what does this huge ongoing effort actually mean for our future, for humanity's relationship with the very technology he's creating?